Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be playing Anivia, and we'll be facing off against the Lux adventure from the Teamfight Adventures campaign. We're just going to be continuing on to this campaign, and since we need to beat this adventure with a failure champion, I figured we should use Anivia. I did like her the few times I've played with her. I'm still running the same setup I ran on Anivia last time. Guardian Angel is very good with Anivia because we can get more copies of her, and more copies mean more Glacial Storms, which mean more mana for us. Grand General's counter plan is a must because getting more copies of Harsh Winds is great, especially if the Harsh Winds draw one when we play them. And then I'm just going to be running Star Shell staff for the extra regeneration between encounters. Allows us to play a little bit more fast and loose with our health. All allies have the same random keyword. The keyword changes each game, each round. The first time you kill an enemy, create in hand a 1 cost 1 uncopy of it. BRB. BRB, I feel like it's a bit too slow, especially considering how aggressive some of these encounters can be. But the other choices aren't really that appealing either. I'll reroll once. Cluttered Mind, if your back row is full, gain a mana gem. That's a no. Create a champion duplicator in hand. It's interesting, but I don't think we can afford to do that. When you summon an ally that costs 3 or less, and 5 cost plus allies everywhere +1/+1. It's interesting with Anivia and our deck, but we don't really have enough of a board presence to really capitalize on it, I think. Let's roll yet again. All allies have the same random keyword: Ascension, Vampiric Vitality. We already have a lot of regeneration, so we don't really need Vampiric Vitality. Maybe Mutant is the way to go. Ascension is just too slow. We need stuff that impacts the board right away. Last second save. BRB, Titanic, Titan. I guess we're taking extra Nexus Health. Now we have a bunch of health, so we can play. Playing with our health should allow us to get to the later stages of the game, where we can play Anivia and just use her as a chump blocker for one large unit, while at the same time she generates one Harsh Winds per turn to go ahead and maybe protect us from taking damage from 2 units. Oh, that's not great for us. The opponent has 3 birds. Let's drop down the Bone Scryer. Maybe it protects our health a little bit. We have to take 15 here. Next turn we'll have 5. I can wait for the opponent to play something for the Bellows Breath. Not exactly what I wanted the opponent to play. I can either go Flame Color Caprin and develop a body, or maybe kill the opponent's one of the Fleet Feather Trackers. Turns out it wasn't necessary. Well, in that case, I'm more inclined to do this. Just Flame Color Caprin, ramp by using the Glacial Storm and deal 1 to everything. It sets up for a Bellows Breath right here. We kill 2 of the opponent's units by doing this.
What flame withers, frost revives.
I wanted that alive in order to use as a blocker. I'm taking a lot of damage here. But that's what we took the Titanic Titan for. Let's drop down the Anivia. Start ramping up that way. Let's see if the opponent... Oh, I was hoping he would kill the Anivia, so that way we would get an additional Anivia. In that case, let's drop a Bone Scryer. Hopefully we'll be able to use that body to block next turn, if the opponent does decide to go for an attack. Deal 4 to all of the opponent's units. No, I want to use a Harsh Winds per turn. So yeah, let's let the opponent attack first. Now we can do this. Protect our Nexus from all the damage. And we even set up to kill 2 of the opponent's units with the Crystalline Storm Raptor. That's nice. What do I want to do here? I am going to pass the turn. Oh, I was hoping the opponent would take the bait and play something so I could get a better Wings of the Cryo Phoenix. But as it turns out, the opponent didn't take the bait. I guess I'll do it this turn. We have time. The opponent's out of resources, so it's not like we are under any danger. I'll do it now, sure. Restore 4 health. That's not going to matter. Now, let's try to close out the game. Let's go Flash of Giants into a Harsh Winds. I was about to say, depending on how the opponent blocks here, I might be able to win, but I just win anyway. Debuff gets us there from our power. But we took a lot of damage on this first encounter. We definitely need a champion that can get us through the earlier stages of the game. Insight of Ages. If only that was an elemental spell. I'm taking the defective swap bot just because it can be used as a sort of removal to deal with one of the opponent's largest units. Karma, while it has synergy with Enlighten, it doesn't really have any elemental spell or skill synergy. But neither do any of the other support options, so maybe I'll just take Nora, just because portals can act as a sort of way to get ward presence in the earlier stages of the game. Do I go for a healer or for a shop? Decisions. I am going to go for a healer encounter. Maybe cutting a card from the deck is the play. Make our deck more consistent. Though I'm not even sure what card I would cut here. I definitely want the Nora. Troll Bulwark on 3. Harsh Winds maybe on 4. I'm not sure. Let's just hope the opponent doesn't develop something on the first turn. Or I guess Nora will always die to the Swiftwing Flight. So I'm just using her to develop a potential blocker here. Of course the opponent hits a bird. I should have known the opponents would try to capitalize on the trait affinity. I take 14. I go up to 4 next turn. That's not really enough. Can go for a Thrall Bulwark, pull there, and that dies. Can also go for a Darkness, and that dies. Suppose that's decent enough. And it allows me to save some spell mana, so I was about to say I can potentially go for a Wings of the Cryo Phoenix and clear everything next turn, but I can't because the trait affinity is just too great for us to deal with. So I suppose we go Harsh Winds instead and try to survive that way. Block there. Let's Frostbite those two. We take 25 instead of 54. Well, I'll get to play Anivia next turn. And the opponent decided to replace one of the birds, so now it doesn't get to... get value. Never mind, he replaced one of the Patricide Proud Wings. Double buffing his entire board. I can do this, it deals 4 to everything, and it levels up Anivia. On the other hand, I can go double Harsh Winds, Feral Mystic. I think that's a better play. I think that removes more power off of the board. And right now that's desperately what we need. Just need to minimize the amount of damage we take. I'm not worried about losing the Feral Mystic at all. And the fact that we lose Anivia here is completely fine too. Anivia is just going to revive into 2 Anivias instead. Alright. The formidable unit still attacks through the Frostbite. Bit of a miscalculation on my end, but it should be fine. Let's defective swap bot that unit. Okay, so it does work. I was wondering because the trait affinity is an aura, but apparently since it sets the stats to 4-3, it just goes through said aura. Let's also go for a Deluge here, just so I can deal more damage with Anivia's attack effect. Maybe we'll be able to trade defective swap bot into one of the opponent's units. Okay, that's fine. This Anivia is going to die, and she will not give us an additional Anivia. But by this point I don't think we need an additional Anivia. We can go for 2 Frostbite effects here. So even if the opponent goes for an attack on 2 of the Anivias, I can just Frostbite the units that would hit us in the Nexus. And we avoid all the damage. And this time it's guaranteed because the opponent doesn't have units that have formidable. Why did they get more attack? Is it one of the opponent's powers? No. Attack. If other challenging allies +1/+1 this round. Where did that extra attack come from? I don't understand. Because the opponent's units shouldn't have gotten any additional attack out of nowhere.
This world shall witness my true power.
Wherever. We'll be able to clear most of the opponent's board here. Actually, we'll clear all of the opponent's board. So now the real question is, do we have enough damage to kill the opponent? And the answer is we do. Unless the opponent blocks. Yeah, he makes most of our attacks fizzle with his blockers, so we're one off. Ah, it's fine. We'll get to cast one last Wings of the Cry of Phoenix, which in turn will allow us to heal a bit more before the next encounter. Nope, nope.
The chill before the storm. I protect this place.
Let's drop down the Nora, sure. It doesn't matter, but I want her on the board just so I can get rid of a card in hand. And it uses our mana efficiently. So we start off the next turn with exactly 13 mana.
Flame withers, frost revives.
The opponent plays his last cards, but it's irrelevant because he loses just to the attack effect off of the Anivia, the Glacial Storm.
Frost revives.
Oh, we lost way too much health in that encounter. Maybe I should purchase healing at the healer instead of trying to clean our deck. Mr. Thrift, Bellows Breath, Group Shot. I'm tempted to pick up the Mr. Thrift just because it's cheap. I'll do it. It's not exactly like I can afford to spare early game presence. We would heal a lot if we purchase healing here. What card would I cut if I were to cut a card? Probably the Portal Palooza. But we can do that in a later healer encounter. It's better to just purchase the healing, because we're going to have to deal with Elite up next. And that might prove to be a problem. Or Clash of the Giants. I'll keep the cheaper options. We don't get any ramp, but we do get an Anivia in the opening hand.
Home is just around the portal.
I'm fine with tossing Nora right away because she has Spell Shield, so even if the opponent had a single combat she would survive. Now the main problem is whatever unit I toss in front of the Dauntless Vanguard will die, which will in turn will allow the opponent to summon another Dauntless Vanguard. So I should just do this and try to jump block that Elite, the Vanguard Defender. I save 6 health here, but I end up causing problems for myself later on when the opponent summons an additional Dauntless Vanguard. I'll find a way. Additional Wings of the Cry of Phoenix.
Well, aren't you the cutest thingamadee I ever did?
I should have attacked with the Nora. I'm making way too many mistakes. I can kill the Yordle. It gives the opponent a Badger Bear instead. Or I can just summon another Junk Construct. Let's jump block here. We'll jump block here. Do I want to toss the Feral Mystic? Not really. Do I value 5 health that much? No. Let's keep the Feral Mystic around, just in case. I'll also save up the spell mana. This turn I intend to go for Anivia. We spend our mana efficiently. Let's attack like this. Ramp up a little bit. Next turn we can start using Harsh Winds in order to minimize the amount of damage the opponent deals. That's scary. We can double Harsh Winds. That covers all of the opponent's overwhelm unit. And that's exactly what I'll do.
Brace yourself.
Let me do this. Anivia levels up. Let's jump block there with Anivia. And you know what? We got lucky and we hit a Herald of Spring. So I will try to preserve that in order to hopefully get some value off of the lifesteal that will give one of our units.
Son of a...
Now we can start chipping away at the opponent's board with the Wings of the Cryo Phoenix. It's fine. Do I want to go for a Crystalline Storm Raptor or something else? Yeah, I'll swap stats with that guy. Maybe I should have done that first before the Wings of the Cryo Phoenix. I would have stolen more health, but it's fine.
Snow, wind, and ice.
Let's do it like this. We get 10 health back. I doubt the opponent's going to block everything here. It does block everything. That's a bit surprising. I do lose the Herald of Spring, but honestly I'm fine with this outcome. The opponent lost basically all of his board. The only thing he has left is...
By hook or by crook, I'll find you, dear cat.
3 cards in hand and the units he already has on board. Unless he pulls out something incredibly surprising, I'd say I'm fine. That would have been a problem if I didn't have a lot of frostbites in hand. Yeah, the opponent just developed a very scary board with a single card. But fortunately I have the counter to it. We just frostbite it and all of a sudden the opponent's board is not really that scary. Next turn I'll use another Wings of the Cryo Phoenix to restore 4 additional health. Actually 3 additional health, never mind, forgot, it's only 3, not 4. Let's attack with everything again, and I'm pretty sure this is just over. Just Nora alone is enough to close out the game. So he needs to remove Nora as well as block everything. Which he obviously couldn't do. Maybe he could have if he had a single combat. But that would just delay the inevitable. Realm's Caretaker, Babbling Balladeers, Yordle in Arms. Realm's Caretaker would be interesting, but I think I need the 3-drop more, as unfortunate as it is. Also, let's go for the shop. Let's try to get a good power here. Beagledust Sprinkle, it works with our portals, so I guess. And all of the other options are pretty meh, so let's not pick up any of them. Portapalooza is Nora's champion spell, but I don't think we want to draw it naturally in our deck, even if it has an item on it. So let's cut it. Now for Poppy.
You want me? Well, okay.
It will be a problem if Poppy opens up with a lot of Yordles, I suppose. Now that I think about it, the Nora is a Yordle. Maybe I should draft a few more Yordles. We need how many to get above? 3 and then 5. Well, this is 1.
To have misplaced my
That will be a second. That's a slow turn by the opponent. It's still scary. But I'll be able to jump block with the unit I just got off of the portal. I'll actually go Feral Mystic, Mr. Thrift here. I think that lines up a bit better. Because while the Bubbling Balladeers would contest the board, this sets up so that I can shuffle more portals into the opponent's deck. And I think that's more valuable. Or into my deck, not the opponent's. Let's develop a lot of blockers. The opponent doesn't have overwhelm options, so as long as I have a decent amount of blockers on board and maybe a harsh winds, this should be fine. Let's frostbite there and there. We can jump block there and there. I would like to proc the Mr. Thrift effect, please. That's why I played it so early. We have one portal in deck. Please hit the portal. There we go. So now we have two portals in deck, yep. Let's drop down the Anivia. What's the opponent doing? Please don't shuffle the Anivia back into the deck. He is shuffling the Anivia back into the deck. Of course. I should have figured. Well, the only way I get out of this is if the opponent somehow, or if I somehow draw enough portals to survive the opponent's onslaught. Which I don't. Let's try and stun something with the Steel Tempest. The opponent's just keepers verdicting away all of my units. Let's stun there. Jump block as many of the opponent's units as possible. I can get away with saving Nora, so I guess I'll do it. Turns out Mr. Thrift was completely useless. It procced a single time this entire game. Well, at least the opponent should be out of Keeper's Verdict now. I hope.
I serve a new god now, one with teeth. Strike them down.
Let's start chipping away at the opponent's board.
Frost revives.
At the very least, I'll have a frostbite next turn off of the harsh winds from Anivia, but I don't know if that will even be enough. We can frostbite these two. We can jump block here, here, and here. But the opponent has enough damage in impact in order to close out the game. It was very unfortunate. Should I play as if the opponent always has Keeper's Verdict? Maybe. The thing is, I definitely needed to play Anivia there, because Anivia is what accelerates our game plan by attacking. I'll keep this hand, toss maybe the Flame Color Caprin. That would be nice. Swap stats with one of the opponent's largest units. Because I know for a fact the opponent's going to develop massive units. Now that it has been shown that Mr. Thrift is pretty useless, I'm very much inclined to cut it from the deck. Let's drop down the Feral Mystic, maybe we get something good here. Let's keep the Nora alive. I need to proc portals. That's going to be my way out of this predicament. Let's use our mana efficiently with the Babbling Balladeers. Next turn, I'll either defective swap bot or Harsh Winds, depending on what the opponent does. I'll swap bot. At least this way I can trade favorably into the Poppy. Get that out of the board right away. I can start swinging with the defective swap bot. Maybe that will help dealing with the board. That's good. That plays an elemental spell or skill. There's a full board of units. Perfect. Honestly, I'll hold back. I don't want to waste all of my units. I'd rather have them on board to act as jump blockers. At least the opponent's units can't get any larger. And he appears to be going through a lot of his units. Striking being struck. If it survives, stun it. Okay, it does nothing. I'll actually let that go through, and maybe I'll be able to bait the opponent into attacking with the Harsh Winds, and use the Harsh Winds to get some good trades in.
Are you new?
Let's block here and here.
Dearie me.
I'll cycle these Harsh Winds. Maybe it will get us to Anivia. That would be perfect. That could be nice. Nah, let's discard these two. I know they would level up Nora, but I'm not concerned about Nora's level up right now. Let's kill that Poro with the Flame Color Caprin. Also work on proccing the Magic Embers finally. Keeper's Verdict. Honestly, I'm kind of fine with it, just because we'll be able to use the defective swap bot's effect next turn again. The opponent's almost out of cards. He plays a very large elusive. Still, I think I'd rather do this. This is the opponent's unit with the largest amount of stats. I need to get rid of that somehow. Let's Frostbite there, Frostbite the impact. Try to minimize the amount of damage taken.
Burn it all down.
Your aura is so blue.
Okay, we kill 3 of the opponent's units. Next turn I can Wings of the Cryo Phoenix. That's still not enough to clear the opponent's board, but it softens it up a little bit, while at the same time buffing my own board. I can no longer go for attacks with Nora, not really. But I should still attack like this, I think. because this puts the opponent under threat. He has to block with everything. And the more units he uses to block, the less scary his board is, because the less buffs he gets off of the trait affinity. And I can just build back my board with either the units I get off of the portals or the Clash of Giants. And now he has a single unit on board, which is not threatening at all. Kind of impressive that I'm going to win this game without Anivia. Normally the support champion is significantly worse than your main champion. Do I go for Portal Palooza? Sure. Just to cycle. Your turn, opponent. Nothing. Wow. Another Portal Palooza? I was not expecting that. And we won! Okay, so this was definitely a lot more the largest challenge so far. But it should be smooth sailing from here. At least I hope. We still have to revive, so I'm not worried. Dragon Lure, Entrance, or Dragon Tooth, Entrancing Lure, Locket of the Iron Solari. Something that would give our units cost reduction would be nice. I'm tempted to pick Entrancing Lure for Nora just to get through our deck faster, maybe find more portals. I'll use my last reroll here. Thieves' Gloves, Consuming Wrath, Entrancing Lure. Thieves' Gloves does nothing, so I guess Entrancing Lure is really the only option. Now, which champion do I want it on? I said Nora, but Anivia is important to our game plan. Let's choose Nora. I feel like Nora carried that last game. Preparation. Round end, grant 2+2/+2 to each ally in hand with cost less than or equal to your number of mana gems. Last second save when ally survives damage with no pilfer. I think preparation is better, just because of the amount of units that get stuck in my hand for a while. I think that will benefit us. Mirror Mage is a lot of value. Battlesmith is a lot of aggression. Let's go for the Battlesmith. I feel like the Mirror Mage might counter our game plan with the Nora, because Funnel City usually has access to elusives of their own. I would like Nora in our opening hand. This is nice. We can drop down Nora turn 1. And in this same turn, all of these units are going to get +2/+2. Actually, no, the Babbling Balladeers won't. And the Defective Swap Bot won't either. But all of these did. That's important. Now they can actually offer some sort of contest against the opponent's units. The opponent will probably kill Nora here, yep. Let's take the 15. I'll drop down the Mr. Thrift. Let's let my entire hand be buffed up. I'm actually going to go for the Defective Swap Bot now. Well, as soon as the opponent plays a larger unit. Yeah, that seems like a tempting target. Now I'll just start swinging with the Defective Swap Bot. just to soften up the opponent's ward a little bit every turn. That's unfortunate. One more unit for the opponent. I want to go Harsh Winds. Honestly, yeah, I think Harsh Winds is fine. If I don't go Harsh Winds, I go 3 into 2. Except the opponent's units don't really get contested by the 3 into 2, so Harsh Winds it is. I want to protect the defective swap bot. And I want to preserve my health, so let's do this. Ooh, lucky. We hit an additional blocker. Now we take even less damage. Next turn I think I just dump most of my hand. Troll Bulwark kills one thing. Troll Bulwark kills one thing. The Babbling Balladeers contest something.
Been a long path to get
Let's pull here. I'll wait for the next turn. Before committing anything else, I think no. Let's do it like this. I was wondering if I pulled the Swifting Lancer or not, because that might mess us up. But this is fine.
show them what we're made of.
That's scary. Fortunately we got Anivia. So we only have to block most of the opponent's ward here. I take 23, but I'm not worried about anything else, because with Anivia on board we can start just chipping away at the opponent's health total every turn. And the opponent's out of units now. So it's not like he will be able to accomplish much of anything. Let's fill a Flame Color Caprin just to level up this Anivia.
Era begins. Rend the sky.
And I think I want to maybe throw the Stony Suppressor into the fray just to see if the opponent kills it. Now it's because now it's messing me up more than it's messing the opponent up. Next turn I want to go for 2 Harsh Winds. I don't really get to do that if the Stony Suppressor stays on board. Let's try to be efficient with our mana.
Well, aren't you the cutest thingamadee I ever did see?
Next turn we go for double Harsh Winds, so we're fine on that front. We get Frostbite for of the opponent's units. Ooh, we even have a Harsh Winds for the or a Wings of the Cryo Phoenix for the turn after that one.
The chill before the storm.
Let's do this.
What flame with frost revives.
Let's let these 2 die.
I protect this
And
place.
we'll kill all of the opponent's units.
I will endure.
While at the same time... Actually, this is not really correct. I should have let one of my own units die, so that way I get more Anivias. Now I completely wasted the Guardian Angels. We're at the point where we don't really need maximum value to win.
Eternal winter.
We can even start burning our cards from the top of our deck, because the ones that we already have in hand are more than enough. Now the opponent blocks my entire board, so he takes no damage. Actually, he can't block nor right. But still, now we just slowly and surely grind the opponent
Ready for deployment.
out of the game. But he's still holding on. Nah, you can't come back from this, so this is just going to be a slow bleed out for the opponent. Yeah, you can buff up your board all you want. I can just frostbite everything you own at burst speed, so it's completely irrelevant. Yara Alseer. For a stance swap. You know what? Stance swaps might have been important, at least earlier into the game, because that way I would have been able to give one of my units Overwhelm a lot earlier, which would have helped closing out the game. Well, now it's better than ever. Let's just close out the game, shall we? And done. How close are we to the final boss? How hard is Lux? Because I'm pretty sure the Mage Seekers don't really have a subtype, so they don't really synergize with the general power in this adventure. Ooh, this is huge. Frost spikes on a chip unit means that unit now works as ramp. Select a card in your deck, add an item to it, put an extra copy in your deck. Let's go Wings of the Cryophoenix Thief's Gloves, sure. Feral Senses. Honestly, it doesn't really do that much for us. Rifter's deck still Tempest is interesting, but not good enough. Same for a lot of these other options. Let's just move on. Smooth Soloist, but I have to deal with dragons. When the foe's Nexus survives damage, they plant a chime in their deck equal to the damage squared. Echoes of the Past. Honestly, Echoes of the Past might be a good matchup for us, so let's go for it. At the very least, it might be easier to deal with than the dragons. All we have to do is just chill for a couple of turns and eventually we'll outvalue the opponent. Let's drop down the Mr. Thrift first. I don't want to do any sort of aggression. The opponent's units don't even have a subtype anyway. So it's not like I'm under any sort of threat by playing this slow. I'm taking 5 here. I'm perfectly fine with that. Ooh, I even got some healing here. No 5, I actually only take 1. Well, that's just ideal. My main concern is definitely the fact that the opponent has 2 Mr. Thrifts on board.
Open minds and clean hands.
Absolutely. Let's defective swap out that guy. Try to minimize our the damage we take a little bit. While at the same time we get some value out of this, because we don't really want the effective swap out to be on board. Or to be in our hand to get buffed up.
My knowledge is reserved for superior minds.
Let's keep passing the turn. We're at 8, we can go for double harsh winds here.
Runeterra realms.
This is perfectly fine. We'll just do that there. We're going to take 1 damage here.
Dearie me. Windows to where, I wonder?
I think I can pull the trigger now. We're just going to do this to level up the Anivia for the next turn.
This is our time.
Next turn I'm going all in.
Rend the skies.
I take 1, he shuffles 4. He has how many in deck? 18 chimes. That's not really that much of a concern. And he already used up most of his card draw, I think. I think his card draw is Living Library, and that's about it. I want to jump construct over something. Yeah, this has better stats than the effective swap bot. So let's drop down a second junk construct, just to deal more damage to the opponent's entire board. Now we attack with everything. Force the opponent to block with everything. Let's frostbite there. Try to keep most of our units alive. I'll let that junk construct die. Does the opponent die here? If my units had more, if I had more overwhelmers, he would have died.
Open minds and clean
Whatever he buffed up is extremely large now, yeah. As long as he doesn't get more than 4 units that are extremely large a turn, I'll be fine. And even then I might be fine, just because I can use Anivia as a chump blocker anyway.
Will endure. Brace yourself.
Like this, and this turn is going to attack me with an 83 and a 38 attack unit, and I'm just going to shrug it off like it was nothing. I'll wait for next turn, sure. I'm pretty sure I just kill him this turn. He isn't going to get an opportunity to react with any unit, so he just has to survive with whatever he has on board. That means he has to use the 86 to block one of the overwhelmers, yep. But if he blocks the overwhelmers, I can just do this.
Chill before the storm.
And they get frostbitten anyway. So I just need to survive this upcoming turn from the opponent, and he dies.
Tomorrow we rise anew.
Portals everywhere.
That's a large bird. But it's the opponent's only large unit, so we're fine.
Eternal winter.
He has 3 cards in hand. Can he kill me with 3 cards? Maduli is scary. Fortunately, the game is going to end next turn anyway, unless he draws healing, which I'm pretty sure that deck doesn't have. Let's frostbite everything. Let nothing go through.
Are you lost too?
Let's maximize the amount of damage the opponent's units take. It's not like it matters. I don't think I'll ever kill what remains on his board. But I don't need to, because I have the Anivias to close out the game. Their effects are more than enough. Oh, the opponent's doing something. Exact lethal. I'll take it. Now we only need to beat Lux. How hard can she possibly be? I guess she can be a problem, because she will get to maybe cast a couple of final sparks. Normally we beat Lux before she even gets to play any 6+ cost spells, but now she might actually be able to do it because our deck is a lot slower. Let's go Ginzu's on Nora. I don't think the spatula will do enough. And let's cut the Mr. Thrift. Unfortunately, it's not doing anything in our deck. It procced once, and that's all I can remember. Maybe it procced after that, but not in a relevant manner. I definitely need 1-drops, though. Come on, Nora. There she is. Nora is carrying this deck. Or once the support champion is actually putting more work than the main champion.
Confine and contain.
You don't know what you're
That's a scary first turn. Fortunately, none of these share a subtype.
This place reeks of foul magic.
rude.
Let's drop down a jump blocker.
We'll save Demacia from magic.
Demacia doesn't
Let's
need
block
saving.
here, block here.
Me?
I'll take the 18. We still have a lot of health to go through. I want to go flame color Catherine. Faces of the old ones unfortunately doesn't do anything. I'll do flame color Catherine.
The world shall witness my true power.
Let's see what the opponent's play is. Redupe Valor on Lux. That's actually quite scary. Wait, why does he have 2 final sparks? The full final sparks cost 2 more and deal 4 more. When you play 6 mana of spells. Why did he get 2 final sparks? Lux created those cards. I get that, but it should only create 1. We'll see how it interacts from now on.
Stand back. I'll contain the threat.
Who's the threat here?
I'll actually go Chunk Construct Harsh Winds. We get a jump blocker while at the same time ramping and keeping mana open for Harsh Winds.
Confine and contain.
Our entire game plan is just spamming Harsh Winds.
If Orn could see me now.
That's fine.
Behold my true nature.
Next turn I'll play Anivia overriding the faces of the old ones, which is doing nothing here. There.
Storm approaches.
And we will just attack with everything, sure.
Restraint.
I'm not worried.
This is our time.
If any of my units die here, I'll take it.
Orn only forges chains.
Search then.
Because that just means we get more Anivias this way. What's he capturing? Flame color Caprin.
A world in perfect stillness.
That's fine.
I will be
It will be a problem if he decides to final spark my egg, or a unit that doesn't really have a lot of health. But he's choosing to final spark the Nora instead. That's possibly the best target for me. If we behold the Titanic unit, I cost 3 less, still 7 to something.
new era begins.
Can't really do 7 to something. Or something that matters. I can't remove the Lux, but I can make it so she doesn't get any additional attack here. I think that will have to do. Now she has a grand total of 0 attack.
Orn only forges chains.
Contain magic.
She wastes 2 of the final sparks. That's huge. I think I win here. I have more than enough damage on board. Maybe if the opponent blocks one the largest unit. Oh, even then it's not enough. That was rougher than anticipated. I guess we didn't really... Or it's significantly harder to get Anivia down and start mana ramping when you don't start the game with 6 mana. The extra 30 health definitely put in a lot of work. Without that extra buffer, I would have died a lot more. But it was still a very good run. So yeah, that will be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Till then.